I just broke up with my boyfriend about 4 months ago, and I'm happy that that happened, but I'm just wondering if I'm kind of interested in kind of, you've talked about cross-current vibrations, like, you know, I think, oh, it'd be really great to meet somebody new, but, oh, I have, you know, comprehensive exams, so maybe this isn't, you know, maybe I shouldn't even be focusing on meeting somebody new. And I'm just wondering if I'm kind of messing up my vibration and making things not come to me as fast as maybe I would like them to, because I'm like, oh, I want to do this, and then I want to do this. And
well, we think you're overthinking all of this, but the most important thing that we want you to hear, and most often our physical friends are not really aware of this, and that is, you're not just now creating this future relationship or this future relationship that dovetails into the broader spectrum of your entire life. You're not just now saying, oh yeah, I want that, and creating it. All through that last relationship, you were launching preferences. And every day, you are creating your reality through the exposure to the contrast that is causing you to prefer. And so we want you to feel this wonderful life experience that you have literally carved out for yourself out of all that you've been living, that is there bright and shiny and patiently waiting for you to find vibrational alignment with it. So you don't have to micromanage everything by saying, well, I want a relationship, but they are very time-consuming, and I want a relationship, but I want to be independent, and I want a relationship, but what if I get somebody that's needy and that doesn't understand that I'm committed to my work, and I've got all this stuff that I need to do, and I want a relationship because there are aspects of it that I miss, but I really don't have time for a relationship, and it's really easier to be by myself, really, than to have to consider somebody else. And we say, yeah, it's kind of convoluted. But when you realize that all that you've been living has caused you to say, I want some of that, and 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 Source knows what all of that is and is calling you toward it, then you can relax and say, my life is always working for me, and I don't have to figure all of this out. Because the thing that we really want you to hear is that this picture of your life experience that you've been contributing bit by bit is a very clear picture of a life that feels wonderful in all ways. And so you don't have to specifically identify the aspects of your life that you are walking toward. You just have to feel good while you're holding the thought. So for example, as you think about how you're sort of enjoying your freedom, you've been launching rockets about that, but as you think about enjoying your freedom, you could fork toward a wonderful relationship, or you could fork in opposition, because sometimes when you think about the freedom that you want, you're really thinking about how hard it is to compromise in a relationship. And you can tell by the way you feel which end of that stick you've got activated, you see. So what we want you to, just for a few days, focus upon is not trying to make your life work, but letting the life that you've already created work, which means you don't have to keep saying what you want. You just have to think thoughts that feel good while you think them. So all of this, you might be thinking about this dissertation that you're writing. And if you're thinking about it and feeling eager, you're in alignment. If you're thinking about it and feeling frustrated that you haven't gathered enough information, you're not in alignment. If you are saying to yourself things like, there's plenty of time and it'll all come together just at the right time, those are words that bring you in alignment. If you say, oh, I'm under time pressure and there isn't enough time, then you're not in alignment. If you say, I'm looking forward to a delicious relationship, you're in alignment. If you say, I really didn't like the last relationship I had and how it ended, you're not in alignment. And what we want you to understand is that you can mess up your energy and not even be on the subject. In other words, you don't have to specifically figure out how you're going to dovetail the dissertation and the new relationship. You just have to feel good when you think about either one of them, and the universe will orchestrate the perfect combining of all of that. If you worry about not enough time, the partner that you attract will be someone who's very needy and wants a lot of attention and time from you, who brings with him a long list of things that he wants you to do, you see. But if you feel in alignment relative to that, that, you will bring someone who is very self-sufficient, who appreciates how good it feels when you're together, but easily allows you to do the things that you need to do. In other words, when the thoughts that you choose on any that you choose them, as we said earlier, is you've just practiced forking yourself into a good feeling place when you think about money, when you think about relationships, when you think about your dissertation, when you think about where your criminology degree is taking you. In other words, as you just keep forking, then what happens? You just keep rendezvousing with this wonderful life that you've been creating for much longer than you even know, you see. You can feel when you're moving toward it. And suddenly there's someone standing before you, whether it's a job opportunity or whether it's a relationship opportunity, and you can just feel the enthusiasm that is within you that is letting you know, man, this is a match to so much that I've been wanting. You don't want a partner that's a match to some aspects. You want a partner that's a match to many, many, many aspects. And you fine-tune that by just forking your way into the best feeling corner on subject after subject all day, every day, you see. You clean up your energy one thought at a time. So when someone sits before me and they say, someone sits wanting to know what their life experience is bringing, and they say, what is my vibration? What do you get? And we say, it doesn't matter what it is. It matters what you are capable of making it. It is the closing of the gap that is life experience. And we don't want to ever give any of you the impression that we want you over here in this perfect place, because you will always be living life in this crack. Life is always going to cause you to become more than you're up to speed with. And what life truly is the getting up to speed. But as quickly as you do, the new contrasting experience causes you to become more. So you are never going to permanently close this. And we want you to adapt to the idea that it is the closing of that gap that life really is. If you were going on vacation, you say, I'm going to go to this city, and 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 then I'll come back home. And so many of our human friends, in their very objective thinking, would say, wait, my final destination is home, and I'm already home. Why go? I think I'll just check vacation off my list. Vacation accomplished. And we say, you don't go on the vacation to get it done. You go on the vacation for the fun, for the insight, for the stimulation, for the fun of it. And you came into this life experience for the fun of it. And so your movement toward your degree and toward your work and toward the books that you will write and toward your lovers, all of that is closing of gaps for the fun of that evolution, not for the completion of it, for the fun of it, because you'll never be complete. There will never stop being another thing that sprouts up for you, you see.
Thank you. I just have one little question left. I've heard you say that when you feel goosebumps when you read things or you listen to things, that's some sort of signal that maybe what you're listening to is in alignment with where you are or that person is from your same energy source. And there's one musician in particular that they're the only, I listen to their songs, and it's the only songs that I feel goosebumps. And I was just wondering what that was about. Is that just like the lyrics resonate with me, or they're from the same energy source, or?
Well, that sensation, that thrill that you're talking about, we like to say that is the sensation of energy and motion. And to be really fair about it, you can get that sensation as you come into alignment swiftly because of something you're focused upon. You can also get that sensation as you come out of alignment. In other words, that you know those shivers that make you feel sort of creepy. It's sort of the same sort of thing. In other words, it's the coming out of alignment because of what I'm projecting, and then there's the coming into alignment. And so you make that distinction, and of course this is the coming into alignment that you're talking about. But the reason that we like to say that it is about energy and motion is because those shivers have to do with these 2 points of vibrational relativity. In other words, anytime you focus and you swiftly come into alignment, that's what you're going to feel. Which means if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and feeling really wonderful, and you turn that music on, and you're already in alignment, then you don't have that sensation of coming into alignment. So it is the sensation of coming into alignment, really, that you are identifying there. Okay. Sometimes Esther will be in a restaurant or someplace, and she will think something or speak something complimentary and really mean it about someone and shivers will come through her. And she smiles and acknowledges two really important things. The thought brought her into alignment, more strongly into alignment. In other words, it's like an infusion of who you really are. The best description of it is, your focus in this moment has put you in a state of allowing the fullness of who you really are to participate with you in that moment. Mm-hmm. So when that washes through you, it means two things. The fullness of who I am is washing through me, mm-hmm. and a minute ago it wasn't. Mm-hmm. In other words, I was on the edge of it, and that's all right. In other words, we want you to be fluid in this crack. We never want you to be criticizing yourself, mm-hmm. about a gap in your vibration, but to be aware of the alignment. That's a wonderful thing. And so it's not that you are necessarily twin souls. It's not necessary. All kinds of artists, when a painter paints a painting or an artist writes lyrics or music, they do imbue their medium with the vibration of their being as they're offering it. And those groups that come together in alignment make magnificent music. But there are few groups that really come into alignment. When one does, the effect of it, of those who are in alignment, is extraordinary. Mm-hmm. Most singular artists have a better opportunity to come into alignment because there are only 2 points of vibrational relativity to align. Mm-hmm. They get into alignment and they feel wonderful. Mm-hmm. And so the way it is affecting you is about your alignment with you. And that's the thing that we most want to emphasize all day here. We would like you all to leave here understanding that how you feel is everything, mm-hmm. and that your 2 points of vibrational proximity are what really matter. And as you deliberately start tending to that, everything else in your world will take perfect form.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, indeed. Now what? Yes? Yes?